So another element of this whole thing of taking care of, reversing the roles is how do we care for the person, not just financially, but what's involved in their actual physical care, and long-term care always comes into the picture there. And so a lot of people think and believe that Medicare covers the cost of long-term care expenses. It does not cover that. What it does is covers short-term, kind of the entry point of the skilled nursing and long-term care. And so it actually covers fully for the first 20 days of a qualifying hospital stay with a daily copay of $217. And that's for and then for 21 days through 100. And then after that, it doesn't cover anything. Mm-hmm. So first 20 days, it covers it all, 21 through 100, $217 a day out of your pocket, and then nothing after 100 days.
Yeah.
So.
And it does not cover assisted living. It does not cover ongoing home care as well. And here's a number that kind of puts everything into perspective, that 70% of Americans over the age of 65 will need some form of extended care. And the average duration of that care is 3 years. So for most families, that's not a hypothetical. It's a planning gap that you may need to take into consideration and realize that you may not realize that your parents have.
Right. So a lot of people think about Medicaid, which Medicaid is the next step and we'll get into that, but it does cover extended care costs as opposed to Medicare. But it's means tested, meaning that for you to qualify for it, you have to have spent down your assets to a certain level that you're not able to pay those expenses, basically. Right. And there is some Medicaid planning that can be done, but it is very time sensitive that when you need to do that. And a lot of times when people realize that they need to do Medicaid planning, it's too late to do that.
And I've got, certainly one wants to protect their assets that they've worked hard for, but you're also giving up a lot of freedom and flexibility when you're pursuing that Medicaid route as well. So you need to really educate yourself on that route as well. So, but there's two realistic strategies, in preparing or looking at, strategies for those long-term care or extended care, if you will, and they are self-funding, which means treating a potential multi-year care situation needed as a portfolio liability and planning for it deliberately, such as risk transfer, which means using different types of financial products designated or designed to shift the risk over to an insurance company in many cases, such as long-term care type policies or an insurance institution. Both are legitimate approaches, and which one fits depends on your family's specific picture, their assets, their health history, and how much flexibility they need. Right. So self-funding or transferring the risk over to an institution.
Right. So when you're talking about this stuff, ignoring it is not an option. Doing the ostrich head in the sand thing is not an option. The family that has the estate planning documents in place, has done some long-term care planning, have a totally different experience than the ones that don't. And so, the earlier you can start working on that with your family, whether it's your parents or yourself, the more options you're going to have when that time comes.